My sister Rosie said,
Yo sí sé quién los pone.
I know who plays with the toys.
¿Quién los pone?
And my mom said, who?
Kitty. Es que Kitty se levanta.
Kitty gets up in the middle of the
Juega
night.
con alguien y platica con alguien y se ríe.
She plays with someone. She talks with them and she laughs.
Mentirosa, no es
Liar, liar, that's not true. I don't play with anyone. I don't get up. I mean, I denied it. My mom said, honey, maybe you're dreaming or something. No, it's not true. It's not true.
Mi hermana sí.
And my sister goes, yes, she does get up.
Y a mi hermana la pusieron.
They even had my sister keep an eye on me during the night to see who I played with, but she never did because she was so scared.
Y así pasó. Y yo me seguía
And so I kept seeing my
levantando,
brother.
y seguía
I
jugando
kept
con
playing
él.
with him.
Y un día llegó él.
And one night he came, and he said that soon we were going to be together.
Yo no
I
quería
stopped
comer.
eating.
Y nada más
I would
daba
only take a
una
couple of bites of food.
de lo que nos dieran.
And later, I would stick my finger down my throat to get the food out. I had a dog, and the dog would go under the table, and sometimes I would give my food to him, and no one noticed. I was getting thinner and thinner. I had big bags under my eyes. I was letting myself die so I could be with him. And so here comes my grandma. And she says, you know what? Something's happening here that's not normal. This girl isn't well. And so she says, we're going to take her to a temple. And I go, what's that? It's a place where they're going to cure you. I'm not sick. So that night I see my brother. And I cry and I tell him. My grandma says she's going to take me to a temple. And he said, don't go. You have to be with me.
Entonces, cuando llegó el día
So when the day came to go to the temple,
para que me sacaran de la casa, estuvo en chino.
I made it so hard for them to get me out of the house. I threw myself on the ground and I said, I'm not going, I'm not going, I'm not sick. They dragged me out of the house and they took me. When we got there, I saw a room with candles. And I said, I don't want to. I don't want to see the witch. And they said, she's not a witch. I don't want to, I screamed. They pushed me in. And when I see this woman, she scared me. The woman was big, her hair was long, she was dressed in white. She was sitting in a chair and her eyes were closed. She looked ugly. I'm standing in front of her and she starts, and like her whole body was shaking and her hands were shaking. And then my mom says, ma'am, I'm here with my daughter. And the woman says, quiet, sister, quiet. I know why you're here. The woman says to my mom, you have a son that just died, who was very close to this girl. My mom starts crying and says, yes. Your son, she says, he's going to take your daughter. Your son can't find the light. Your son is in the darkness. But because you won't let him go, you cry for him too much. And she said, your son's frightened. He feels alone, and that's why he wants to take his sister. And he's going to take your daughter if you don't do something. I wasn't sure if the woman was telling the truth, but what she said was very similar to what my brother had told me. I didn't know what to feel. The woman said, you're going to do a novenaria. Every day we were going to pray in my mom's room, where the vigil for my brother had been held. I would have to get on my knees and pray for 9 days. And with that, my brother would find the light. The first days were hard. My mom, my dad, and my grandma, they would have to drag me into my mom's room to pray. And when they would start to pray, I would cover my ears and lie down on the floor. I remember how they would force me. They would have to grab me by the shoulders and the knees to get me to kneel. I felt that if I prayed, I was going to harm my brother, that my brother was going to be alone and trapped forever in that cold and dark place. So I would cover my ears and go, no, I'm not going to pray. I'm not going to pray. And then my parents would start the prayer all over again.
Santa María, Madre de Dios, ruega, Señora, por nosotros los pecadores en la hora de nuestra muerte. Amén.
And then one night, my mom started crying and screaming, God, I give you my son. And to my little brother, she'd say, baby, follow the light. That's when things started to change. We were halfway through the novenaria, and in the night, my brother comes and says, I'm here. So I get up. Guess what? It's not dark anymore. There's light. And I go, what do you mean? He says, I can see light. And I said, like from a light bulb? Or from a lamp? Or like a match? He tried pointing to where the light was coming from, but I couldn't see anything. And he said, there's so much light, there's so many kids, and there's a man who's very good. He said, look, this man is waiting for me. And I go, but how are you going to go with that man if you don't even know him? And he goes, he's good. He's good. And I said, but how do you know there are kids? You already went? And he said, yes, I'm already with them. And I go, but how, Santi, if you're here? And he goes, because there's light, and now I can see the path. But this man said I had to come and say bye to you. I started crying, and I said, no. He goes, yes, my mom doesn't cry anymore. She doesn't cry anymore, and she's better. I go, well, tell the man to take me with you. And my little brother said, you can't come with me. You're going to live a very long time. And I said, aren't you scared? He said, no. Aren't you cold? And I said, you're not cold at all? No. Are you happy? And he said, yes. You like to play with the kids? I mean, I interrogated him, and he said yes. We hugged, and we cried. I started to feel calm. It's like I was no longer afraid to let go of my brother. He smiled now. His face was so different. He looked happy. He got up and said, I have to go. He turned. He walked across the dining room and went out the patio. And this is something I never saw, right? How my brother left. But this time I did see. And from that moment, I never saw him again. When I woke up the next day, I looked around me. Everyone was sleeping. I see my mom in her bed. So I get out of bed. I go to her. I start moving her and I said, Mom, Mom. And she wakes up, surprised. Honey, what's wrong? And I said, I'm hungry. I want to eat. I was sitting at the table and my mom gave me a glass of milk with bread. And I go, Mom, Santiago's gone. Honey, what do you mean? You saw him? And I go, yes, he came for the last time. He said goodbye to me. My mom falls to her knees and she cries and cries. And my mom said, yes, baby. Follow the light, my love. Follow the light. Little by little, I told my mom everything. I started to get better. I started playing with everyone, and I would tell my sisters, let's play patty cake. And every time we played patty cake, I thought of my little brother, but now it felt nice. And there is one thing. I was always looking up at the sky. And my mom would catch me and say, what are you looking for? And I would tell her, It's just, I want to see the light.
We hope you've enjoyed today's segment with Rudy on the Go here on It's Reality Podcast. Remember to subscribe to his YouTube channel at youtube.com/RudyOnTheGo and turn on post notifications to stay updated every time he posts new vids. Until next time.